The first update we have today is on the secret reunion between Teresa Giudice, Joe Gorga, and Melissa Gorga. Okay, so you know how Teresa, Joe, and Melissa have had this huge feud going on for years, right? It's been, central to Real Housewives of New Jersey. Well, apparently, the three of them actually spent a whole day together recently, trying to patch things up. So someone close to the situation said that Teresa, her brother Joe, and his wife Melissa really did manage to get to a better place after talking everything through during this secret meeting. Apparently getting face-to-face was seen as, the crucial first step to finally end this family drama. And they were there all day really hashing it out. By the end, sources say things were really good. Now, what might be pushing this? Well, there's talk it could be kind of business-driven. An insider mentioned they want to get back to work, suggesting this whole making up thing was maybe a necessary step for RHONJ Season 15 to happen. But it's stressed this meeting was totally not filmed. Producers apparently weren't interested in taping the initial makeup session, although, if they do fully reconcile and stay good, maybe we'll see it on the show later. This whole push for peace does line up with what Teresa's been saying on her podcast lately. She just wants peace and wants to be a good example for her kids, showing forgiveness and all that. So it looks like the long-standing feud between the Giudices and Gorgas might actually be thawing, which could mean we see them back together on RHONJ. Before we get into the next update, please make sure you've liked this video and subscribe to this channel. Okay, then let's move on to next update now.
Okay, next we are going to talk about that absolutely explosive trailer for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 15. It just dropped November 4th. And wow, this thing really illuminates the intense personal stuff and the massive feuds we're gonna see this season. Plus, major revelations, and we get our first look at the two new cast members, stylist Rachel Zoe and businesswoman Amanda Francis. So the biggest headline? Definitely Kyle Richards' personal life. Fellow cast member Basma Boss St. John kind of corners her about her relationship status, right? And Kyle basically confirms she's open to anyone, saying, I could go Brad, I could go Angelina. Wild. We also see her dealing with the whole Mauricio-Amansi separation. There's even a quick shot of him wiping away her tear. And speaking of relationships, it gets messy. Dorit, she opens up about her struggles with Paul P.K. Kemsley. But then you've got Erica Jane, who's all smiles with her new romance. She's making things official with her boyfriend, John Shrek McPhee. Kyle even calls it a hard launch, really public now. On a much heavier note, though, Denise Richards admits to Erica she's afraid, confirming she's scared of her estranged husband, Aaron Vipers, who's faced those abuse accusations. Okay, so the drama is set for some massive feuds. There's this huge falling out between Kyle and Dorit. It looks bad. Dorit actually storms off, telling her co-stars to go F yourselves. Whoa. And the new ladies? They're jumping right in. Stylist Rachel Zoe is shown talking to her sons about her divorce from Roger Berman and calls someone fake. Then newcomer Amanda Francis pushes back at Boz for suggesting she isn't new, and later kind of implies one of the women feels threatened because she isn't financially dependent on a man. Oof. Oh, and actress Jennifer Tilly stirs the pot, calling Sutgay selfish, and claiming that's why Garcelle left, because it's always all about Sutton. So yeah, this season looks like it's holding nothing back. Deep relationship crises, fierce rivalries, new faces. It's gonna be a lot. So this was today's update about the Real Housewife of Beverly Hills Season 15 trailer. Let's now move on to the next update. Next, we are going to talk about Tamra Judge clapping back at Shannon Beador, and the most toxic label thrown by Jennifer Lawrence. Okay, so the drama is definitely high voltage as the Real Housewives of Orange County's Tamra Judge responds to being called a grudge holder at the Season 19 reunion, while actress and, major Bravo superfan Jennifer Lawrence weighs in on Tamra's behavior. So, it all kicked off when Shannon Beador called Tamra Judge a grudge holder at the reunion. Actually, she called her Tamra Grudge. While Tamra wasn't having it, she shot right back, saying Shannon's the one who can't let anything go or move forward. And she even threw in a little dig, kind of sarcastically wondering how many times Shannon practiced that line with her dog, Archie. Then things got even wider when Jennifer Lawrence jumped in. She straight up called Tamra the most toxic of everybody. Jennifer thinks Tamra is really working behind the scenes, trying to make Shannon look like the one causing all the drama. It kind of illuminates Jennifer's view that Tamra's maybe being pretty calculated here. And Tamra, she seems to be leaning into it all. She playfully changed her Instagram bio for a bit, adding cyber hacker. You might remember that's a little nod to that old accusation about her digging up stuff on Gretchen Rossi back in the day. Oh, and Jennifer Lawrence also had this theory that Tamra and Lisa Barlow should team up and start a hidden account together. Basically, Jennifer sees them operating kind of similarly, pointing out how Lisa supposedly leaked info about Bronwyn Newport's past charges. Just so you know, The Real Housewives of Orange County Season 19 reunion kicks off Thursday at 8/7 on Bravo. So this was today's update about the Tamra Judge drama. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we are going to talk about the recent drama surrounding Lisa Barlow and Bronwyn Newport. Okay, so you probably heard about that wild insult Lisa Barlow threw at Bronwyn Newport, right? The whole "go out deke sucker" thing? Well, this sheds some light on why Lisa might have used those exact words, apparently based on stuff Bronwyn told her off camera way before. So, let's set the scene. The big fight kicked off when Bronwyn basically accused Lisa of having multiple lawsuits tied to her businesses. That's when Lisa dropped that really harsh insult. Bronwyn didn't just take it, though. She hit back, mentioning court records, alleging some guy, not Lisa's husband, claimed he paid Lisa's Amex card for years. Now, Lisa's explanation for her specific choice of words, she says it actually stemmed from two different things Bronwyn allegedly told her, like maybe a year or even more back. First, Lisa recalled Bronwyn supposedly saying something like, "I have sex with a man that has gout." Okay. And second, Lisa also claims that at some party, Bronwyn apparently bragged, saying something about her Amex bill with her husband Todd, like, "Yeah, when the Amex bill comes, I just say, 'I'll suck your dick.'" Lisa mentioned she found that pretty crass, especially saying it around single guys. So, flash forward to the fight. Lisa said when Bronwyn was coming at her, telling her to go to work, even though Lisa runs multiple businesses, those alleged past comments just surfaced. Her immediate thought was apparently, "You're telling me to go to work? All you do is like suck gout deek." She saw it as kind of flipping the script, questioning Bronwyn's job after Bronwyn questioned her work ethic.
And in front of them, it was so weird. She said, "Yeah, when the Amex bill comes with Todd, I just say, 'I'll suck your
So this was today's update about Lisa Barlow's explanation for the infamous insult. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we're going to talk about the latest explosive recap from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, where a chaotic yacht trip brings intense feuds and major rumors to the surface. Okay, so the drama really picks up right after Heather called Lisa the group's leak. Heather's feeling pretty rough, hungover, and just not sure where things stand with Lisa now. Especially because Lisa is just refusing to apologize for, well, anything. Lisa, meanwhile, is venting to Meredith, kind of wondering why she didn't get more backup. But things get really tense with this whole Bronwyn, Britani, and Lisa situation. So Bronwyn actually slept outside just to avoid Britani, right? And then she overhears Britani totally trash-talking her. Lisa jumps right in, stirring the pot, loudly telling Britani that Bronwyn broke some rule about asking to meet Gwen's grandparents, apparently crossing a line they'd set about not discussing the kids. Bronwyn's just like, "See, Lisa's being messy once again." Then, just when you think it can't get wilder, Angie, who's been super seasick, decides to spill some serious hot tea about Lisa spreading rumors. Get this. Angie reveals Lisa claimed her friend made out with Todd while he was, and I quote, "farting the entire time." Lisa tries to defend her source, saying they're trustworthy because they're from New York. But honestly, Meredith Cosby seemed way more concerned about the farting than the cheating. It all culminates at this insane zombie dinner. Britani, still seasick, brings up some TikTok rumor that Seth, Meredith's husband, has a mistress. Oh boy. Meredith just explodes, defending Seth and firing right back at Britani about her relationship stuff and things she's seen online. It gets so heated, the bickering just escalates until Captain Jason literally has to quietly get everyone out of the room. Wild. So, this was today's update about the explosive RHOSLC yacht trip drama. Let's now move on to next update. Next, we are going to talk about Southern Charm's JT Thomas, who recently shared more details about his decision to leave the country and move to Bali. So, yeah, JT basically declared he's left his family, his friends, everyone back in the US, looking to start completely over. He suggested he sold pretty much everything he owned and honestly might not even come back. And the reason he gave? It's kind of intense. He said he's really concerned his country is imploding. Okay, so now he's this, 40-year-old single dude trying to figure out how to build a whole new community, make new friends. It's a big deal. Well, it sounds like he actually had a pretty successful first attempt at making connections near his new place. He was just hanging out by the pool, apparently. It's part of this compound with about 8 villas, all run by a local Balinese family. Anyway, he saw this woman in the pool. Now, JT admits he usually kind of sticks to himself, doesn't just start chatting with strangers. But this time, he decided to just say screw it and went over and said hello. And turns out, the woman was, in his words, amazing. She's apparently been coming to this particular town for years and knows loads and loads of lovely friends. He learned she was actually part of a band, her husband was too, but she's widowed now. JT just said they really clicked. And get this, later that same night, she asked him about dinner plans. He was just going to grab some takeout, but she invited him to join her instead, saying she wanted to introduce him to some people in town. So she took him to a restaurant, introduced him to what he described as some of the most lovely people. They had a really nice meal, and just like that, JT feels like he actually has some friends already. So this was today's update about JT Thomas's new life in Bali. Let's now move on to next update. Next, we are going to talk about the recent drama surrounding the Real Housewives of Potomac star Stacey Rusch, her rumored date with Chris Samuels, and her clapback at Ashley Darby. So, Stacey's been a fan favorite this season, season 10, but she's been dealing with some criticism, right? It all revolves around this resurfaced chat where Stacey talks about rumors she dated Chris Samuels. Yeah, the retired NFL player Monique Samuels' ex. It really kicked off when Ashley Darby basically told everyone Stacey was trying to date Chris. This happened during a dinner, right after Ashley was grilling Giselle Bryant about her love life, actually. But then, some producer footage surfaced, maybe a little blurry, but still, and it illuminates that Stacey did actually hang out with Chris for a bit.
Apparently, one of the editors at People magazine got wind of you and Chris.
I was separated going through a divorce. And as we were separated, Timo saw other people and I saw other people. I did not have sex with anyone. I saw people, I hung out, and Chris was one of those people.
She clarified the timeline, though, saying she was separated from her husband, Timo Rusch, and going through the divorce, so, they were both allowed to see other people. Stacey really set clear boundaries here. She was like, look, I did not have sex with anyone. She emphasized she just hung out with folks, and Chris was one of those people. When pushed, she doubled down. No sex with Chris. Called him super cool, respectful. Then she turned her attention to Ashley. Stacey wasn't having Ashley constantly bringing it up and questioning her divorce. She basically said she expects Ashley to be consistent and called her a detective spending way too much time digging into her life instead of just being a genuine friend. And about the divorce, Stacey confirmed it, flat out. Said she was divorced in December, adding, that is the truth. She seemed kind of baffled why Ashley wouldn't just ask her directly, instead of, automatically assuming the worst and accusing me of being a liar. So this was today's update about Stacey Rusch's recent bombshells. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we're going to talk about Emily Simpson weighing in on 2 pretty big storylines. Those fraud charges against Wendy Osefo and, all the drama leading up to the Real Housewives of Orange County reunion with Gretchen Rossi. So Emily's been talking, right? And she touched on that serious fraud case against Wendy and Eddie Osefo over in Potomac. You might remember, these charges are linked to an alleged staged burglary back in April 2024, supposedly for insurance money. Well, Emily read up on it and basically said, even though she's had, positive interactions with Wendy herself, it doesn't look great for them based on what's out there. She mentioned there seems to be a lot of evidence against them, but she did add she's hoping their defense, maybe something about an illegal search, actually works out for them. Then, switching gears completely over to Orange County, Emily gave us a little tease about the reunion. It's a 3-parter, starts Thursday, November 6th. She said it's finally going to bring more clarity to that whole mess with Gretchen Rossi's screenshots, the ones showing supposedly liked homophobic and anti-abortion rights posts. Emily mentioned the real issue when it first came up, like at that dinner in Amsterdam, was Gretchen's kind of weird lack of emotion and lack of response. It just confused everybody. But apparently, Gretchen spoke really well at the reunion and addressed everything head on. Emily also added, look, if those screenshots were somehow faked or manipulated, that would be truly evil.